Good day, everybody. This is Serge. I'm with the Warriors Band, and welcome to another edition of Who Can Explain. When I was reading the Quran, reading the Bible, comparing the two documents together, I have another question that got developed for my Muslim friends. So, amongst you all, who can explain? Is the God of Abraham, Moses, and Jesus the same God as God of Muhammad? Is Muhammad's God the same as God of Jesus? Or they're completely two different things? Let's take a look at it. Let's compare them two, and we will be able to see if they are the same God or it's completely two different things. Okay, so let's look at how Jesus has portrayed his God to be. So one of the things that Jesus did is he called God his Father. And on top of that, he has taught his followers to also call God his Father. Interesting. Let's take a look at Matthew chapter 6, verses 9 to verse 10. In this manner, therefore pray, Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done. And you can read the rest of the prayer if you like, but my main focus here is Our Father in heaven. When the followers of Jesus prayed, Jesus himself prayed, his prayer was Our Father who is in heaven, our Father. So he is calling God his Father. Jesus is teaching his followers to call God as their Father as well. Okay, so the second passage we will look at is Mark chapter 14, verse 35 to 36. He, Jesus, went a little further and fell on the ground and prayed that if it would be possible, the hour might pass from him. And he said, Abba, Father, all things are possible for you. Take this cup away from me, nevertheless, not my will, but your will be done. So in this passage, we can actually see Jesus is praying. And he is praying, calling God Abba, Father. Not just a father alone, but Abba, Father. Abba is this very endearing word, very close relationship. That is Abba. So Abba, Father. Let's take a look at one more passage. The last passage we'll take a look at is John chapter 10, verse 30 to verse 31. This is what Jesus says. I and the Father are one. Again, the Jewish opponents picked up stones to stone him. But Jesus said to them, I have shown you many good works from the Father. For which of these do you stone me? So in this passage, Jesus refers to his Father and him as being one. It's not just an Abba Father, but it's one. It's one unity. It's one relationship. It's one. So we can see that according to who God of Jesus is, God of Jesus actually loves when his children call him his Father. And if we call him Abba Father, he loves this even more. Okay, so that is the God of Jesus. The God of Jesus is a very endearing Father, and he loves it too. Now let's take a look at the God of Muhammad. See if it is exactly the same God as God of Jesus, or it's a whole different thing. Okay, so now a God of Muhammad is not a father. It's only master to slave relationship. God of Muhammad is a master, and everybody else that believes in the God of Muhammad are slaves. Nothing more but slaves. Okay, so let's take a look at how Quran is presenting the God of Muhammad to be. So in Quran, Surah 10, verse 68, we find this. They say, Allah has begotten a son. Glory be to him. He is self-sufficient. His are all things in the heavens and on the earth. No warrant have ye for this. Say ye about Allah what you not know? In other words, they say, so the people are saying, the Jews and the Christians, that Allah has begotten a son. And then Muhammad is telling to everybody that you do not have any guarantee. You cannot claim such a claim because you cannot guarantee that Allah has a son or God has a son. And then Muhammad proceeds on with saying that you're talking something that you don't even know. Let's take a look at another passage. Surah 6, verse 101. To him is due the primal origin of the heavens and the earth. How can he have a son when he has no companion? He created all things and he has full knowledge of all things. So right here, again, we see how God being a father or having a son is completely denied. So the God of Muhammad is not a father. He explicitly denies that he is one. Surah 18, verse 4 through 5. This is what Quran says. This is what Muhammad claims. No knowledge have they of such a thing, nor had their fathers. It is grievous thing that issues from their mouths, as a saying, what they say about nothing but false. So we can see here that every single time when somebody would actually say that Allah is a father, the God of Muhammad says this, you're saying a grievous thing. Stop it. Surah 5, verse 18. But the Jews and Christians say, we are the children of Allah and His beloved. Say, then why does He punish you for your sins? Rather, you are human beings from among those He has created. He forgives whom He wills, and He punishes whom He wills. And to Allah belongs the dominion of the heavens and the earth, and whatever is between them, and to Him is the final destination. So right here, we can see again that the Jews and the Christians were saying, and according to the Torah, and according to Zabur, and according to Injil, so according to all revelations of God, the Jews and the Christians are calling God, Allah, their Father. Then Muhammad comes along and says, then why does He punish you for your sins? If He is your Father, why does He punish you? It's interesting that if you were to look at the history of Muhammad, Muhammad never really had a father. He never had one. So he does not even know the concept of what the father is and how the father punishes his children for disobedience for the sake of correcting them. Muhammad has no knowledge of this. So he is claiming something that he himself does not know. And he does not know because of his fatherless experience in life. And he took his fatherless experience in life and pointed towards Allah. And because Muhammad has no father, Muhammad decided that Allah is not a father as well. Let's take a look at Surah 43, verse 81. Say, if Allah most gracious had a son, I would be the first to worship Him. Think about this one. In this passage, Muhammad clearly states that there is two different gods. One is the God who has a son, and the second one is the God who doesn't have a son. The first God is a God who is a father, and the second God who is not a father. So now, if Allah would have a son, according to Muhammad, he would be the first to worship Him. But since Allah has no son, according to Muhammad, he is worshiping that type of Allah. So we can see, according to this passage, that Muhammad himself is splitting Allah into two. One Allah is the one who has a son. The second Allah is the one who doesn't have a son. And Muhammad was convinced that Allah has no son. That's why he decided to worship the Allah who is not a father. But Jesus, he was more than convinced that Allah is his father. So he called Allah his father. So we can see that the Allah of Jesus actually does have a son, according to Jesus. And Allah of Muhammad does not have a son, according to Muhammad. It's two different gods. It's not the same God. So now, the biggest question is this. When comparing the Allah of Jesus to Allah of Muhammad, when comparing the two Allahs, one has to be true because there's only one God. There's not more than one God. So one Allah, either Allah of Jesus is true or Allah of Muhammad is true. There cannot be two gods. One is true and the second is a figment of imagination. Now, who is true? Who is the figment of imagination? If Allah of Muhammad is true, then that means since Jesus called Allah his father, he by default associated himself with Allah. That means that Jesus, according to Muhammad's teachings, Jesus committed a shirk. And Jesus right now is burning in hell. Basically, that's what Muhammad is telling us. So now, whose God is true and whose God is a figment of imagination? I personally think that the God of Jesus, the one who raises people from the dead, is true. Why? Because Jesus was raised from the dead and he is not burning in hell, but he is in heaven with Allah. But the Allah of Muhammad is, to me, it seems like it's a figment of imagination. Nothing more, just a figment of imagination. A person, Muhammad, sat down, decided to think about some new rules, some new regulations. He decided to think that God is not a father, and he has written all of this down. Not from Allah, but from his own imagination. Nothing more. So now, who can explain this to me? I would love to hear you out. God bless you all, and I hope to hear an answer soon.